Hi everyone, alongside Mike Trossel, I'm Dave Giancola. Thanks for joining us again for another U.S. Open Classic finish. In the 1995 U.S. Open, Greg Norman was again in contention for the elusive U.S. Open title. The Great White Shark was tied with Tom Lehman after 54 holes at Shinnecock Hills out in the Hamptons, with a young Phil Mickelson a stroke behind.
Dave, with Lehman and Mickelson getting off to tough starts amid the difficult conditions, it was Corey Pavin looking for his first major championship, a few groups ahead, who started to apply some pressure.
Pavin's second shot. And a birdie chance for Pavin, who's only two behind Norman and Lehman. Back to 10. From the green back to Tom Lehman. Roger Moulton, you've seen the lie, you've seen the situation. Assess it, please.
Tom's got 168 yards to the flag trumpet. This is the very same place Jumbo Ozaki had so much trouble from yesterday. A very deep lie. Tom now switching clubs, going to a 7-iron. This is in there pretty deep. I don't know that he can really get the ball to fly, John. It'll come out with no spin, but I don't think he can get it to jump.
The trouble is, it'll come out hot, and if it does land up by the green, it'll probably hop over the gallery's head almost. So, I mean, this is really asking for a lot right here.
It came out knuckling. It's going to hit short. If that hill kills it enough.
How about this? Nope.
Oh, it'll stay there.
Oh, man, missed out by a foot.
Oh, my goodness. What a good shot. That was so close to perfect.
That's why this hole could drive a guy to drinking.
Even a tough Mormon, huh?
I don't know about me, but this hole did everything but that.
Now Greg Norman at the bottom of the hill with a tremendous drive. See how 10 has played. It's ranked second only to the 18th hole in difficulty today.
He can't be 3 yards from where he was yesterday. Trump, when he hit his sand iron, his third shot to the green here, and came all the way down to where Tom Lehman's ball is.
He being Greg Norman.
The pin's in the back right, so he doesn't have to flirt with the front of the green like he did yesterday, but this is sand iron from no more than 80 yards, 85 yards.
Roger, in the 86 U.S. Open, he bogeyed 10 on the second, third, and final round. This year, he bogeyed it Friday, he double bogeyed it Saturday.
Wind really coming in, gusting in behind the player's back now. Left of the flag.
Stayed on, Roger.
Not an easy shot to get that on the green, Trump.
No, it's not. Many have bounced over. Ahead to 12.
And Corey Pavin, the gutty little Bruin from UCLA, for birdie to pull within one of the lead.
Boy, they're struck like a guy knows what he's doing. Still got the nerves under control.
Back to 11.
Par attempt at Bob Tway. Remember, he was in the greenside bunker. What a putt. He stays at +1. Norman and Lehman are playing 10 and are tied for the lead. Pavin with a birdie at 12.
And for those of you just joining us here at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club on Long Island, let's go back to the early actions. Second hole, par 3. Bob Tway started one back at even par, this for birdie. That ties Norman and Davis Love at the time for the lead. Fifth hole, par 5. Davis Love started +3 for birdie to go +1. Second hole, Greg Norman for par. And that bogey takes him to even. Fifth hole, Phil Mickelson started even, this for birdie. close. To the 8th, and Bob Tway for par. The 8th, Tom Lehman, second shot. -1, but on the 9th, Lehman for par. Gave the shot back, so he and Norman tied for the lead, even in the championship. Corey Pavin and Bob Tway only one shot back. Davis Love, the third, trails by 2.
Third shot, Tom Lehman. They're in 3.
Ahead to 12. Bob Tway's tee shot.
Big par 4 right here. 472 yards. Downhill, downwind, and he's hit a beauty right up the throat.
Bob Tway's already celebrated one golf championship, his alma mater, Oklahoma State, the NCAA champions. Back to 10.
All right, Greg Norman. Roger Malt, will you read this one for us, please?
About 25 feet Trump downhill. Not a lot of break in this putt. Maybe try to move to his right as it loses speed. Tricky putt to read.
That's 8 straight pars for Greg Norman. The bad news is he's now gone 28 holes without a birdie. But he maintains his share of the lead with Tom Lehman, who has a very difficult par chip as we move ahead to 13.
Highest point on the course, Bob Trumpy, par 4 13, 377 yards. Fairway works left to right the entire way, including on the green. And Corey Pavin has hit every fairway today. Back to 10.
Roger, this chip looks tough.
It's really not, Trump. It's back uphill slightly. They're all tough at this stage of the game, I suppose, but this is really back uphill. He's got a pretty good lie. Might go a little bit to his left. It's very makeable. Just hit it a little too hard, left himself some work.
Ahead to 14.
Third shot of Davis Love, the third, currently 2 behind the leaders. His approach was short, and that left for par for Davis Love. Back to 10.
Now the bogey attempt for Tom Lehman. If this putt goes in, he will have bogeyed 3 of the last 4 holes. He birdied 3, he bogeyed 4, he bogeyed 7, birdied 8, bogeyed 9, and this is a bogey attempt.
Johnny, this is the kind of hole that in the practice rounds the players were looking at, and it just didn't seem that hard when the greens were a little soft from the rain and so on and so forth, but it's become just a bear cat as the days have passed on.
Yeah, this hole just, like I said many times, this is the hardest hole to me on the golf course. I just never am sure what I want to do. And this, like you said, he doesn't want to be missing this one because he'll start losing pace with what this is all about today if he doesn't watch out.
Inside left edge. Firm. Good putt.
A bogey 5 for Tom Lehman, and now, as the last group walks off the 10th tee, Greg Norman is at even par and leads this 95th U.S. Open.
Of
Corey Pavin from 138 yards, a little 7-iron knockdown shot just short of the green. The wind is really starting to influence all the shots now. It's back up to at least the velocity there was yesterday.
Americans without a major title. Tour wins Corey Pavin, Davis Love. 5 for young Phil Mickelson, 2 Tom Lehman. Everyone keeps saying each year, well, will this be the year for Pavin to win his major? And a lot of predicting the PGA out in Los Angeles where he's already won. But maybe it's going to be right here on Long Island. Let's go to 12.
That was Bob Tway from 166 with an 8-iron, going right at it.
Birdie chance for Tway on this par 4-12.
And that was a huge par putt he made at 11. That could be one that will give him some confidence, give him a chance to make that putt on 12.
To the par 3-11.
Greg Norman dropped out of the lead with a bogey at the second hole. He's now hung around and has inherited the lead again. Johnny, look at this green.
This is the opposite green of the Rudan hole, which is number 7. It slopes right to left. This one goes left to right, and it has a low right in the middle of it. You can see it, sort of a hollow right down the middle. It slopes on the right side, it goes left, the left side, it goes right. And so if you miss it, short side it. When we say short side, if the pin's right and you miss it right, the grass going away from you, the green is, you got no chance almost. So you don't want to short side this green. Watch it from the side. Boy, you talk about some undulation and deep bunkers. This is quite a green. See a little fall off on the edge there. So you don't want to go long left, Greg Norman, or right.
161.
It's an 8-iron. He's got it going left to the flag. Watch out.
Nope, that's exactly where you don't want to go, guys. Saying no way. That's really not good. Let's put it that way.
No, it's worse than not good. That's awful.
Well, the wind kind of switched on him. It was left to right, and while his ball was in flight, the flag switched to straight down, and it held that ball from cutting back to the right, John.
But you never want to hit too much club here. You know, this hole, everything underneath the hole is just fine. You can always play it, and don't miss it on the side the pin's on. Those two combinations. Of course, easy for me to say in my air-conditioned spot up here.
Trying to win his first major on this continent with Norman. First U.S. Open.
Tom Lehman now going with a 9-iron after seeing that shot. Oh, and this is going well right. Watch out, bunker's right. Front right bunker.
What a hole, Roger and
Oh,
Bob.
it's just such a small green sitting on top of that hill, John. Hard to hit.
Yeah, when you're playing for U.S. Open championship title, it probably gets real small.
Phil Mickelson at 12 for birdie. Great lag. Mickelson is +3, 3 shots from the lead. To 14 and Nick Price.
This is a par putt. And Price will bogey, and he's back to +4. Meanwhile, on 13, Corey Pavin's third shot. And we've seen a lot of players get it close. The pin on 13 much more accessible, and back to 12.
Bob Tway, 1 behind Norman.
Johnny, probably the easiest putt you could have on this particular green.
Well, at this stage, it's just degrees of easy, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But as far as just a nice hittable putt, you know, you go ahead and hit this firm enough and it shouldn't run past the hole.
Just inside right edge, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Looks, oh, it didn't break.
Tway remains +1, tied with Pavin and Lehman, 1 back of Norman. Let's go to 15 and Davis Love. It's a par 4, 415 yards. Down the hill, dogleg right.
And the one place you don't want to go is in that tall grass to the left, the native fescues, and but Davis is in the primary rough, 156.
Second this year in the Masters behind Ben Crenshaw and that emotional, dramatic win for Gentle Ben.
Well, he's got about half in and half out. Pretty good. I think he's all right. As long as he doesn't grab the toe of the club, I think he's all right here. A big wedge. Terrific shot, Davis.
Birdie chance for Love, who is 1 under for the day.
Greenside bunker at 11. Roger?
Well, his troubles are many. He cannot see the surface of this green. Got this bunker shot a little heavy too, John. Left
Same as-
himself 15 feet short, same as number 7.
Same kind of shot. Look at how deep that bunker is, though. That's a tough shot. He wants to keep it underneath the hole. He doesn't want to go long and go down where Greg Norman did. Let's take a look at this. Takes it back outside, which is good. Drops it in. It's way behind it again, farther than he wants to, but that's sort of erring on the safe side.
All right, Roger, just how difficult is this shot?
Well, this is really a tough shot. He's got a good lie, I'll say that, but he's got a very small area in which to land this ball. I believe he'll try to land it in the tallish fringe. Try to get some steam taken off of it. It will bounce to his right. From that point, the odds of getting this ball within 8 feet of the hole are pretty slim, John, don't you think?
He is really good at bumping it into the banks, though. Easy to leave it short, though, the green.
Oh, that's really well done. That is really well done. About as good as you can hope for there.
Greg has a putting green that he at his home down in Florida where he chips and putts, but I don't know if he can grow open rough around that green, but he has been marvelous around the greens.
He just, watch him just brush that grass, and he's so good at hitting it into the bank. And that shot just is very difficult under pressure to be able to hit that bank and bounce up, and you can see he's really happy with that shot. You won't see a lot of smiles, though, the rest of the way in. You'll notice that today. When guys make a birdie, it's a tight-faced bit of enjoyment. It's not jumping around and smiling like it's nothing.
Tom Lehman for par. If you watched last year's Open, and I'm sure you did at Oakmont, and you saw Tom Lehman behind the gallery ropes in the playoff, watching his good friend Lauren Roberts compete with Colin Montgomery. And the eventual winner, Ernie Els, now Tom Lehman is center stage. Roger, how about this one?
Uphill from about 18 feet. It's off the whole right. Probably move left about 3-4 inches from here. Very makeable putt, and he needs to make it.
For Tom Lehman, that's now 4 bogeys in the last 5 holes. To 13.
On the tee, Bob Tway, elevated tee, par 4. Narrow strip of fairway, winding left to right, and Bob Tway has found it.
The leaderboard, Greg Norman presently at even, followed by Pavin and Tway, and behind that leaderboard, the green at 11. Roger?
Well, this putt from this angle really doesn't break too much. Might move to his right slightly. Just about left edge if he wants to hit it lightly. If he wants to hit it inside the hole, he has to hit it firm, which is kind of a scary proposition from here. But not much movement. What a great save. That's a great 3.
That's now 9 straight pars for Greg Norman. He leads the Open without having made a birdie in the last 29 holes.
Great stuff.
Well, Greg said yesterday that the total compliment to Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. It tests every element of your game. You go out there knowing you have to use every shot in your bag and then test what you have inside. Oh, it's answering that call again today. This marvelous links layout. To 13. Bob Tway.
Pins up front. He takes his hand off the club.
And well beyond the hole location, which Johnny is just 6 paces off the front and back to 12.
Norman on the tee. Still in the lead. One ahead of Pavin and Tway.
Going left.
It's all right.
To 15, Davis Love.
Oh, what a good looking putt that was.
So that'll be for Love's par. He's +2.
And from behind the back of Corey Pavin, dead downwind, second shot, very demanding at the par 4 14th. John Schroeder is in the fairway.
148 yards to the front edge. He's got to land it just at the front or just short. Probably hitting a 9-iron. Depends on the bounce. Pixie.
And it's bounced on the green, but
Pretty good
just
shot.
rolls back. Very difficult. Second shot to hold. Corey Pavin playing 14. Greg Norman on 12. He has the lead by 1.
"35 years ago, 1960, Cherry Hills, Arnold Palmer staged the greatest comeback in U.S. Open history. Palmer rallied from 7 strokes behind in the final round to win his only U.S. Open crown. Edging by 2 strokes a 20-year-old amateur, Jack Nicklaus. It was the only U.S. Open crown in the 32 played by the King. To 13.
And Bob Tway's long, lengthy birdie attempt. Sharp right to left breaker. And he'll have that for par. Back to 12.
Greg Norman's second shot on the first cut. Roger?
Ball sitting down a little bit, 174-yard 9-iron. Got to watch this one getting through the green. Pins all the way in the back, but this is a hot lie here, Johnny.
"13 men right now within 4 strokes of Norman."
Going right of the flag.
Well, you weren't kidding, Roger. And that thing really went down.
It was a heater.
That's a 472-yard hole, and a 9-iron was too much club.
Norman's car today, bogey 2, was unlucky on 1, hit the flagstick, and was challenged to make par. And it's been that kind of day. Just 1 over for Norman. Now Lehman.
169 yards, this one 8-iron. Excuse me, that was a 9-iron. Good looking shot.
That's a good one. Stop the bogeyman.
To 14.
And Corey Pavin's birdie try.
Doesn't break, Corey. Looks like it breaks, but it doesn't.
Has to turn, he says. MetLife, blimp, Snoopy 1. Continuing to fly the skies above Shinnecock Hills Golf Club, powered by a couple of twin engines, reaching speeds of 60 miles an hour. Can navigate at altitudes in excess of 6,000 feet. Back to 12 and the leader.
Yeah, the Sharks fin is still up. He leads by 1 over Pavin and Tway.
Could be very short-lived from that position he's in. I can't tell about the lie, but could be a 2-shot swing here with Norman and Lehman. Lehman could make birdie, Norman bogey from there. Look, he can't even find the thing. Where is this thing?
Not much green to work with either, Johnny.
Well, he made a miraculous par on the last hole. If he pars at this hole also, someday he might look towards those 2 up and ins as being the ones that did it. Roger, you right there?
I'm just now examining his lie, and it's sitting deep in the ball. The grass is growing against him, John. This is a pretty tough lie right here.
This is when you need heavy hands. This is and some strength. You don't think so, but this is when you need to grip it firmer and just power and impact, power it through. You just can't give in to that grass.
You can see how firm the practice stroke says that he's taking, John. He's gonna have to really hang on to this one and pop it.
Almost got to be almost lucky to get it close here. He can do it though. That's a smart shot, Roger.
Well, it gives his chance for his putter to save him.
Let's take a look at this. Watch it impact. Let's see how he penetrates through it. Yep, it keeps it going. See how he doesn't break down? Again, you kids out there, see how he keeps the same position he was at impact and address on the follow-through. Hasn't flipped it.
Ahead to 14.
On the tee, also an elevated tee, Bob Tway. 444 yards, gradually working uphill to the green. Downwind today, and Bob Tway has caught it left.
I don't think that'll be too bad. It's way down there.
Back to 12.
What's he got there?
Well, it's about 7-8 footer, John, and just not much movement around this hole, really. It's pretty level back here. May try to eke just to his right, but I certainly think it's inside the cup.
I agree. A little slow. What was that call?
The 36-year-old Tom Lehman is still part of this U.S. Open picture. 1 off the lead. Now Norman, can he save par?
How many putts does it seem that he's had like this, John, in the last 2 days?
Enough to wear me out.
My goodness.
He misses this. We got a 4-way tie for first.
This
I mean,
putt doesn't
Pavin,
do
Tway,
much.
Lehman, and Norman. Excuse me, Roger.
This putt doesn't do much either. It's about left edge putt. We'll try to eke a little bit to his right, but if he gets it outside the hole with any pace, I don't think it'll take the break. Four-way tie for first should he miss. Just didn't quite have enough speed on it, John, and just leaked away. Wasn't a bad stroke, just didn't quite have enough pace.
So for the first time in the championship, Corey Pavin finds himself on the top of the leaderboard, joining Norman, Tway, and Lehman at +1. And a reminder, 5 of the last 10 U.S. Opens went to a playoff, so it's a 50-50 chance that We might see two men there after 18. Move ahead. 16.
16 and Davis Love. This is third shot from 79 yards. This looks like a simple shot, but it isn't. A flag stick only on the green by 12 feet.
Hit it 95. Yesterday you kind of...
And just a nice wedge, Dave Moore, and a one putt for another guy tied with the lead.
That's right, John, but what he needs to do is blow it by the hole and left to the hole.
Oh, it's beauty.
Perfectly played by Davis Love, and if he makes that, he will join the other four at +1, and it'll be a 5-way tie. And let's go back to 15T.
Corey Pavin.
If that doesn't stay in the fairway, it's unbelievable.
It's good, Corey. Relax.
It did. As tenacious a competitor as there is on tour, Corey Pavin at 35 seeks his first major. To 13.
13th tee, the par 4, 377 yards. Tom Lehman, 1 of 4, tied for the lead.
Starting it right, drawing it back toward the fairway. Good looking drive, should catch the right side of the fairway.
And it has, Roger. And a 14, second shot of Phil Mickelson on the par 4. Downwind. Mickelson currently +3, and look at this. And Mickelson has a makeable birdie putt at 14. Back to 13T, Greg Norman.
Got it going left. Going well left. Big pull.
Yeah, it's in the native fescues, Roger.
So Greg Norman coming off the bogey at 12 to produce a 4-way tie in the fescue at 13. Now 14, second shot Bob Tway.
Wants to land it just on the front edge. This green is very firm.
And watch this ball roll.
I think this green holds less than any green on the golf course, and it was the same way in 1986.
It's like a wind tunnel at 14. I think it really dries out that green even more, Johnny, as we take another look at this leaderboard. Norman, Pavin, Tway, Lehman. Love just a shot back. Mickelson has a birdie putt at 14. And the rest of the challengers on this Sunday, Father's Day at Shinnecock Hills. Scott Simpson, former Open champion, in at +8. And now Bob Tway, his third. Well short, and he'll have a lengthy putt to save par. Bob Tway, who got into this championship through sectional qualifying, shot a couple of 69s just to be here and get in position. And we'll head to 15.
Corey Pavin's second shot.
Dick.
Yes.
This is John Schroeder. Corey now knows he's tied for the lead on the 14th tee. They had to wait between Tom Lehman's putts and Greg's putts, so he's well aware that he's in a 4-way tie. He has 131 yards to the flag. 110 yards to the front of the green. Looks very calm to me when I told him that he was in fact tied. He said, thanks. Off he went.
What's the wind doing, John?
Pretty hard left to right, Johnny, and just slightly helping.
Boy, that was a cool, calm, collected look right there on his face. I don't know if you noticed it, but
Pavin in position to take the lead. Back to Norman.
And Norman's predicament, second shot, Roger.
142 yards from the tall native fescue grass, and this ball could go anywhere. Not terrible, we got a clump behind it. Ooh. And that clump got him, came out fat and heavy. Short and well left.
Well, if there's any good news, the whole location is front for Greg. Let's bring in David Fay now. David?
Well, the USGA has a slow play policy, and it calls for groups to stay in position to one another and play in about 3 hours and 40 minutes. Now, if a group starts lagging behind the group ahead and they're taking more than the allotted time, they'll be informed and timed, and that's what's happened to Norman and Lehman. They were 8 minutes over their time through 12, and they're over a hole behind Mickelson and Tway. Now, once a group is put on the clock, if a player on 2 occasions takes more than 40 seconds to play a shot, he'll be penalized 2 strokes. Now, the timing begins when it's the player's turn to play, and he can play without distraction or interference.
All right, thank you, David. You saw Tom Lehman's second shot over the green. Back to 14. Bob Tway for par.
and this putt does not go left, and it looks like it does. Oh, you read it good.
On the edge, ahead to 16.
And Davis Love, he's already backed off of this once. Now this is just a straight in firm putt to get a tie for the lead. Oh, and he either pushed it or played the break. Doggone, he's missed a bunch of short putts this week. Davis stays 2 over and 1 stroke out of the lead.
14, Mickelson for birdie. He's got it. First birdie of the day for Phil Mickelson. And he's just a shot back at +2. Meanwhile, Greg Norman in a 3-way tie at the top of the board. His third shot, Roger.
Gonna play a bump and run here from about 30 yards. Landed short of the green and will kick to his right. He landed that ball on the green, and you've seen what's happened. I'm sure he was trying to land that ball short of the green.
So Norman will have a lengthy par putt to avoid 2 straight bogeys. Still birdieless since number 18 on Friday, but has still managed to stay at the top of the leaderboard. As we look down on this 13th green, Tom Lehman has found his way through the chipping area quickly to 15 though.
Phil Mickelson
From the elevated tee here at 15, 415 yards, crosswind, and that's a wonderful tee shot, Phil.
Mickelson 1 of 6, a stroke from the lead.
And he just hasn't made a putt all day until the last hole, so that's good news for Phil.
13.
Tom Lehman, his third.
Bump it into the bank in front of him. From there, he goes downhill, breaking to his left.
Not bad
That's
at
really
all.
well done. That's really a good play from there, Dan.
Lehman coming off the birdie at 12, and we'll go to 15.
Corey Pavin. This is for birdie and would give him sole possession of the lead.
If there's an easy putt, Dick, this is it on this golf course. It's straight uphill, right to left break. He doesn't have to worry about the ball getting away from him. Just got to pick his line, and he can be fairly aggressive with this.
Maybe right edge, John Schroeder.
Depending on the speed, yes, Johnny. Ian Woosum just putted before him, and he got a pretty good read on the line.
Norman's par attempt. Just off the right edge.
So in a matter of an instant, Norman with a bogey drops to +2, and Pavin with a birdie is even and takes the lead.
How quickly fortunes change. That was a beautiful putt. I mean, I thought he made it. I think it would break left at the hole and just hung out there.
New updated final round, 95th U.S. Open in its centennial year. High drama. Long Island, New York.
Tom Lehman now will try to stay at +1 in that three-way tie.
Not too much from here, just inside the hole putt.
And stays one behind Corey Pavin to 17.
Davis Love's tee shot at 17 today, playing 173 yards. And not enough club. Didn't hit a real good shot there. I'm sure a little carryover from missing that short putt here at 16. Corey Pavin at 16 tee. The man in control, I would say. And when he gets near the lead, this fellow does not back off. A lot of things got to be going through Corey's mind now. Of course, he just gets reminded all the time he's the best player that hasn't won a major, so he's got his chance right here.
And Dave at 35, that gets pretty tough to swallow. He's been close, as you can see. Last year, PGA finishing runner-up, and he has battled his way through this championship just as Ray Floyd did on the final day 9 years ago at Shinnecock.
And those birdie strokes he put on number 11 and 15 were just, boy, you talk about it with some authority, just pop them right in there. There's no doubt about him.
He's the only man in the final 5 pairings today to play under par. And now is at the par 5 fifth.
Stay a little right to left there. Yep. Get your line.
So I think he was waiting just for the group in front to clear. Burplank and Stricker just ahead of him. Well, Corey, let's make a little 5-3-4 and see if they can catch you. Sounds easy, I know, but this 16th hole, you better put it in the fairway your first 2 shots. Now you have a look at Corey's card. And 2 birdies on the back, just a birdie and bogey on the front.
Hit a nice strong fade, Dave, right at the bunker up the right center of the fairway. It's going to be well short of it. In play.
Well, as you know, John, from playing in Open Championships, that's what you want. Boy, he wants a lot of fairways and greens from here to home. Ahead at 17, Davis.
Bob Tway's second shot at 15.
Nice little hop there.
Tway 2 behind Corey Pavin.
Johnny, that little putt that he made back there, Phil Mickelson, he showed his first sign of emotion today. He's back into it, and he hasn't made anything, but that putt brought a little life back to him. He's only got 123 yards to the hole. This is just a smooth little pitching wedge, a lot of spin on it. Perfect spot for him. He's got to go right of the flag. We have to get down.
Mickelson through the green at 15. Corey Pavin, they call him the Bulldog. He has his teeth into this 95th U.S. Open.
From the fairway bunker, Greg Norman's second shot, par 4, 14th.
Pitching wedge from 142 yards, Dan.
Good shot.
Dead downwind, object bounced the ball in front of the green. Norman has done that. And after 2 straight bogeys, which have cost him the lead, he'll have a chance at birdie to 15.
And Phil Mickelson's third shot.
Tough little pitch here, Johnny.
Sure is. But again, I like his, when he has not much green to work with, usually he's at his best.
Oh, good touch, good touch.
To 14.
Second shot on the way for Tom Lehman.
Pitching wedge from the short rough from 140 yards. Hit very soft, a little bit of a bad break there, really.
It is short. And to 16 we go.
Second shot of Corey Pavin. This was a 3-wood. He must put it in the fairway. And you can tell from that little fist, he did just what he wanted to. A nice low burner right at the top of the hill on the flat spot there. Good position for Corey Pavin. Let's go to 15.
Bob Tway. Chance to move within 1 of Pavin. He'll accept par. Let's go back to 14.
And there is Greg Norman. It has been 31 holes since Norman has had a birdie. He's in position for one at the 14th green, trailing Corey Pavin by 2 shots. And the putts per round for Greg, not quite as well today. Through 13, 22. Needed just 25 in the spectacular round on Saturday, which had him getting up and down from everywhere. As you look at some of the other scores, Tway and Mickelson have both tapped in for their pars, and they're both +2, 2 behind the leader Pavin. And there is Tom Lehman, who came up short in his approach to this par 4 14th.
And this putt here is from the front of the green. It moves right all the way, and probably about at his caddy's feet would be just fine. And it's not the kind of putt you're probably thinking about making, but stranger things have happened. 1 behind Corey Pavin at 1 over par.
Lehman will have that to remain at +1. And now this is pretty big, Roger, for birdie to get back within 1.
Well, this putt right here, I'll take over for Roger. Greg, of course, is just underneath the hole. He sort of saw that the ball moves left or right because Lehman's putt. So just a little bit of a slider, Greg. You need this one big time. The wind is freshening. See his pants? Makes it tough when the wind's at your back. Wants to push the ball to the right.
32 holes without a birdie for Norman. Ahead to 16.
Third shot of Corey Pavin, and John Schroeder's right there.
108 yards to the front edge, David. The pin is on 6 paces. Based on the way Corey's been hitting his shots, he's going to take a little 9-iron and hit a little low skimmer in there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't try to carry it past the flag.
You better.
And spin it back.
You better, because anything short of that hole spun back off the green. It's not dead yet. It's going to move. It's going to keep moving toward the hole. Been doing it all day. Watch this. Keep moving. Ooh. Okay, Corey Pavin. And he could get to 1 under. Lehman made his par, and he could get to 1 under where Raymond got to 1 under in 86. Will Corey Pavin win his first major? Don't go away. There's lots left. Lehman still a chance. Norman. Oh man, what a tournament.
You are watching the 95th U.S. Open on NBC.
So with Corey Pavin, with this birdie putt at 16, maybe the biggest, I think certainly the biggest putt of his professional career, could give him a little breathing room. At the moment, a 1-stroke lead. And of course, this is where in 86, Raymond made a wonderful birdie coming down the stretch in his final round 66 to get the 2 strokes. Always nice to have an extra stroke in hand. Now, John Schroeder, you looked at that putt, and I've watched this thing for 4 hours up here today, and generally the misses have been to the right. It seems to break out more than it looks. What did it look like to you?
Well, I stood just on the other side of the hole from Corey, and it looks to me like at the cup. It almost looks like if I was putting from behind the cup, I'd want to go to my right, which would be to Corey's left. But it doesn't. So it must swing very quickly at the first part of the putt.
Yeah. Well, if you had to have a guy putt one, this would be it. All right, this for a birdie and a 2-stroke lead. I have seen that time and again. Man. Well, still the lead. It'd be nice to have 2 in hand. We go to Tom Lehman.
15. Pavin knows the big hitters are behind him, and that par 5 waiting for them.
And Pavin has no idea how many bullets he's dodged so far. People missing putts everywhere and not taking advantage of opportunities, and that's why he's leading.
Lehman in the fairway. Let's go to 18. Second shot for Davis Love.
190 yards. Watch out for that lip. And it hits it. And now he's in fescue grasses, a couple feet long. He's got about 132 yards from there.
Back to 15. Norman on the tee.
Takes a mighty lash at it. A good one. His tee shots have been good, Dick. It's just from there on in, it's been his problem. He hasn't gotten the right clubs. Of course, Corey Pavin here walking over to the 17th tee, and they're using the right tee, as you know, Dave Marr, which is the tee they used in 1986.
Right. Twice they used the new one, which is fine. Flag stick today, of course, 18 feet from the left-hand fringe, so with the wind blowing across, no easy shot by any means. This is a very strong hole at 173 yards. See a lot of bailing out to the right. And of course, you see Lehman playing 15, Norman playing with him. Norman needs to make a birdie somewhere. And of course, this man is such a competitor. I know Dick Enberg, what do you call him, the gritty little Bruin or something like that?
The GLB, the gutty little Bruin.
That's right. And we go back to 16 where Mickelson is looking for his ball, and this hole has, as you can see from that, with a 7 the first round and then 2 6s. This is a hole he'll remember a long time, because if he just made 3 5s, he would be 2 under par. This is third shot, and if it's as deep as it looks, I don't know if he can get this on the green.
Dave Marr, that was from 108 yards, and the grass just grabbed the hosel and turned it right over. Now he's going to be working his guts out to get a par on this hole.
We'll move over to 17T. Corey Pavin with the honor.
Dave Marr, this shot does not match his flight very well.
I know, and that's especially with the flag stick in the left side of the green, but you just want to put it on the green here. And he's a master at inventing some little shot, as you know. So
it'll be interesting to see if he, with a slice wind and a hook pin and a slice trajectory, what he's going to do here, because they do not match.
I think to hold the ball on the green, Johnny Miller, he's got to play some kind of a draw or hold shot back into the swing, because if he plays that low fade, it'll skim through the green. If it gets away from him even more, it could go in that bunker. He's got to play an aggressive type of shot just to keep it on the green. That's what he's done. He's tried to turn it back into the wind.
Stay on the green. Stay on the green. Stop.
Well, it's not on the green, but that's okay. Just in the back fringe.
It's a 15, and Lehman's second shot.
One behind Pavin. The green falls away there, as you can see. Another one of those edges that the ball just creeps and rolls right off.
Rolls like it has a heartbeat.
Third shot of Bob Tway. Looked like a little up shooter. Oh, and he just catches it back left bunker. He's got a tough shot now. 15.
Norman's approach shot.
Going with the pitching wedge. Oh, that's a good one. That'll get him one back.
Norman currently 2 behind the leader, Corey Pavin, 1 from Tom Lehman, who's in second place. There it is. Pavin by 1 over Lehman. Lehman 1 ahead of Norman, Love, Mickelson, and Tway. Neil Lancaster with a record-setting 29 on the backside today. U.S. Open record. Now to 18 on tape. Davis Love's third shot out of the tall hay.
From 75 yards. And he's got it from right down there. It's fourth shot. And his travails continue.
Back to 16.
Fourth shot of Phil Mickelson, and he's down there pretty deep. They took a little while just to find it. This will test his skill with this little flop shot. No, better go, Phil. Man. Don't ask him what his favorite hole here at Shinnecock Hills is. 2 over for today's round, and about to drop 2 shots here again. That's 5th shot coming up. Let's go to 15.
Tom Lehman for birdie and a share of the lead.
This one back up the hill will break from his right to left. Can be aggressive with it.
Gotta hit it.
So Lehman will stay at +1. is the goal for Lehman and Norman. To 16.
Bob Tway, his fourth shot. They got too cute with it. Just had to get it out on the green, but just softened into it and left it there. Let's go back to 15.
Greg Norman, 3 holes ahead after this 15. And a chance for birdie for Norman.
Yeah, just a little over 3 feet inside the hole on the right. Just hit it firm.
Norman's within 1 to 17.
And Pavin the leader. This is approach. Ooh, slowed down Corey. Well, got a little frisky coming out of there, so he leaves one. Leaves the kind you may not want. But this is a very tough player, Corey Pavin. Of course, he's not making it any easier on himself or his fans either, I'll tell you. Whew. So he needs that par putt to keep his lead. And this is Tway's 5th shot. He rides on by the hole. So both he and Mickelson having a lot of problems here and just really blowing out any chance that they may have had. At this point, Mickelson now, his 5th shot. This just moments ago. So that's 5. So into the, if he 2-putts that, he will have played this hole. I can't even add this out. Let's see, 14 and 12 and 26. 6 over par. That's if he 2-putts. We'll go back to the tee now, where Greg Norman finally, after making a birdie, first birdie since the 18th on Friday. And this is your last good chance for a birdie, Greg, right here. 544 yards right into the teeth of this wind. Right at the clubhouse, yep.
Got to get this ball in the fairway or it's really a long hole. Good looking drive going up the left side of the fairway. Just in the extreme left portion of the fairway. Good tee shot.
Corey Pavin to keep the 1-shot lead. This ball should move a little to Corey's left. Courage. Character. Back to 16T.
Tom Lehman's chosen a 3-wood here. Try to keep the ball short of that fairway bunker on the right-hand side. Got it going a little right. I can't see where that's coming to rest, but it's well right at the bunker.
It's in the bunker.
It's in the bunker, Roger. Okay, boy, and what a day it's been. What a tournament. The golf course, of course, winning this tournament again. Corey Pavin with a 1-stroke lead. Will he finally win his first major? Can Norman catch him or Lehman?
Yeah, from that blimp location, you see out over the Atlantic, and that's where we'll be in 2 weeks for the championships, Wimbledon. Steffi Graf, after a win at the French Open, will be favored to win the women's title again there. Let's go to 18. Davis Love, disastrous 18th. Finishes +4, a 71 today. There were high hopes early, but they faded down the stretch to 16.
Second shot, Lehman. Got a good lie, Roger?
He's got a very good lie, David, but I haven't seen anybody make par out of this bunker yet. I've seen Eisinger make 6 from it and Jimbo Ozaki make 7 from it. Going with the 4-iron here. He's got it going right. And the primary rough on the right. Gonna be a long shot from there.
See the UCLA Bruin cover as Corey Pavin waiting for his turn on the 18th tee. It's got to be tough to swallow right now.
The Bruins are having a good year, huh? Basketball, now golf, maybe.
Meanwhile,
second shot of Greg Norman.
Good looking shot. Right in the middle.
Absolutely perfect. Just where you want to be. Take a little wedge from there, maybe a little 9-iron, depending on what kind of shot he wants to play, and sorely in need of a birdie. As you can see the standings, Norman a stroke back. Lehman struggling here a little at 16. Going to have to go some to make a par. Mickelson, of course, made the double bogey here. Haas finished. Davis Love finished 4 over. That's a good score. Big score. Corey, of course, waiting at 18T could be a little bit of a problem, John.
Yeah, you hate to wait when you have a little bit of momentum going, and it just builds. These coaches in basketball don't call these timeouts when a guy's got a free throw for no reason. So for him to be sitting here and all the things that go through your head, the first major, you know, it's a tough hole. Just let me hit, okay? So he's going to be able to hit in about the next minute, though. The group ahead of him has cleared out now. They're starting to walk away. This hole sets up pretty good for Corey. He's hitting that little low slider, and it's a hook wind, so he can just aim right down the middle and to be able to keep it in play.
see how he's done in the tournament. Johnny, it's inspiration to men who aren't as big and strong as many of the players today. Corey Pavin is next to last in driving distance in this championship, yet he is a great shot maker. He stayed in the fairway today, and here the little man has a chance to win the big title.
That's why I think golf is the greatest game of all. It's not just big, strong people playing. It's people that are smart, know their limitations, use their head.
Going a little right, Johnny.
Fairway.
Going a little right, and not very far.
Yeah, it's okay, John Schroeder. It's going to be a long second shot.
That ball definitely was not going to go left.
To 16.
Lehman looking over his third shot. He took a club out. Now he's changing. Roger, what about it?
He's got 139 to the hole, David, but it's really deep here, and the grain of the grass is growing against him. I don't believe he can reach the green with this shot. It would be a superhuman effort.
Well, he's a strong man.
He is a strong man, but he's going to really have to gouge it. Just laid it up the fairway, Johnny. Probably a pretty wise play. Try to make 5 that way.
Well, I haven't seen anyone knock it on the green out of any of this rough here today on this particular hole. I mean, they've made some horrendous scores. Now, what about Greg's shot?
Well, Greg's left himself a perfect angle at the flag. He's got about 100 yards to the flag. Wind gusting right at him. I believe we'll go with the pitching wedge and just try to keep it down, David.
He's got to knock it by the hole, Rogers. Anything short of that hole today, and especially the way he spins it, spin back off the green. So to give himself a chance, you can see that wind snapping that flag, too.
Dave, when he switched to this new brand of ball, he doesn't spin it back much anymore. You watch. His ball is not spinning like it used to.
John, the wind's blowing so hard here, and it's such a slope behind the hole, I don't think you can stop it from spinning back.
Well, I'm just saying, he does not spin it like he used to.
Doesn't sound like it.
Kind of going right at the flag. Get up.
That's off the green.
Hit right into the bank.
Yeah, but John, even anything, say 6 feet on the green is spun back all day. I mean, the wind's blowing so hard that it just takes it right back. Now, he doesn't have too hard a chip from there if he's got a good lie, though. But you didn't give yourself the best opportunity to make birdie. You can see he's just saying, no, not that mistake. Man. Lehman's fourth shot.
Just inside 80 yards, going with the single here.
That's off the green also. I mean, anything shorter than flagstick today is just gone back off the green. Over at 17, Phil Mickelson, this for a birdie. Phil to 3, over for the championship. Come on, finally. Well, in a day where he started and missed a couple of short putts and got off to a shaky start, you know, it might make him feel a little better, and there will be other opens for Phil Mickelson, I'm sure. Man of the moment is playing 18.
Corey, of course, still pacing this off, just probably double and triple checking this yardage to make sure there's no way he's getting anything wrong. When he hits a shot, he wants to know that he's got it right. He's still waiting for the green to clear.
Johnny, he's got 210 yards to the very front of the green from his ball, and the flag's on 19.
Back to 16.
There's going to be a lot of guys taking their time. Roger, when you went by, did you get a good look at Greg's lie?
He's got a good line, David, no problem at all, but it's straight uphill. It's just a matter of getting into the hole, really. There's not much break from this angle at all.
No, there isn't. And he's got his, so you know he thinks he's going to chip it in, or at least give himself the best chance possible when he has Tony take out the flagstick. That for the tie. And he left it short. That's real slow going up there. Well, got a little one left for his par to stay one back of Corey over at 18 fairway.
Pavin contemplating this approach shot.
He's got a pretty much dead downwind, doesn't he, John Schroeder?
It's downwind, but it's pretty much, a little more right to left, I would think, Johnny.
Well, at the flag, the flagstick here, it's pretty much maybe a titch down and to the left, but
Well, standing here in the fairway, I just threw up some grass and basically directed it across on his line. It may switch up there by the green because you got that hill maybe funneling the wind a little differently. He's got a wood out, probably a little 5-wood, which he's a very, very fine fairway wood player. Actually, it played to his advantage. He can set that thing up in the wind and hold it. A little fade, hold shot.
The main thing he wants to do here is not really miss it above the hole, off the green. He wants to land it just on the front edge, and probably his main concern now is just to make a good solid swing, good contact, and good thoughts.
Beautifully struck there, right at the flag.
Watch out for this one. This is a shot of his life. In his wildest dreams, he couldn't have hit it any better.
Corey's very religious.
Hey, Phil,
He still does not know how close that ball is.
What a shot.
Let's take another look at this. This is a shot of a lifetime. Very crisp, aggressive swing. Never left the flag. Hit in a nice flat spot. And it is tracking right at the hole. If it didn't break, it had gone in.
Racing was Pavin to see where the ball landed because it's impossible from his angle, and now he knows.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Meanwhile,
and while all that was going on, watch what happens to Tom Lehman's 5th shot here. Watch what happens to this to show you how cruel this green is right now. Of course he mishit it a little and so forth, but rolls back off the green and he wound up making a double bogey. Greg, on the other hand, had this for a par 5. But all of a sudden, 2 strokes back. So we go to 17T at 173 yards.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon, he's just 1 stroke back. At the moment, I've already given Corey his putt. I was asking his caddy, Tony, 162 to carry the bunker. So he knows, and he knows from all that went on over at 18, that Corey hit a good shot. So he's got to take a little gamble here and shoot more at the flag maybe than he would like to.
This is going to be a 6-iron, Dave.
Seems to be the popular club, 6-iron.
Way right, headed toward that right bunker.
Not even close, Roger.
Way right, right off the get-go, Dave.
That's,
meanwhile at 18, Corey Pavin with his chance for a dramatic birdie after one of the greatest shots in U.S. Open history.
Needs to finish this off, though. There's no use putting a shot in there like that and not finishing it off. Putt's inside the hole, inside right side of the hole, and it will not break out of the hole. Right on the edge.
Johnny, I think as he was preparing to putt there, all those blinks that I think the emotion had caught him in this moment. par for Pavin. He finishes at 68 today, in position to win his first major championship. He's playing competitor Ian Woosnam. Norman is still alive, but in the bunker at 17. And remember, Norman has played 18 very tough. He's birdied and had a chance for a birdie yesterday.
He still has to par 17 to give him a shot at himself a shot at 18.
Pavin helping up John Schroeder, who lost his footing. John? All that noise, I don't think John can hear us.
Meanwhile, Greg stalking around the 17th. Roger, what kind of lies they got in that bugger?
A lot of green to work with here.
Is the lie okay?
Yeah, the lie is good. He's got a very good lie, and it's got a lot of green to work with. I think Tom Lehman's going to play first. Ball will come out of here and run really pretty truly at the hole. Will break to his right on the way down, but I would say most of the time these guys would get this ball up and down, but on the 71st hole of the Open, a little different order.
Well, he's hanging on, you know, just hanging on.
Can Greg see that leaderboard, Roger? You think he's looking at it?
He's looked at it many times. He took a good look at it on the 13th green, Johnny, on the 14th tee. He looked at it on the way up here. He knows exactly how it stands. And certainly when he heard the groan of Corey missing his putt at 18, he understands.
Good shot there by Tom Lehman. 3 over and 4 over for today's round.
And Roger's not out of the question. This man can knock it right in the hole.
No, it's not out of the question. This is the kind of shot that tracks at the hole. If he gets it started just a little left of the hole, it'll track right at it, John.
Well, you know, with all the bad things that have happened to him with people holding out, you know, maybe one time he might hold out.
That's a good point.
It would almost seem fitting, wouldn't it? Got it heavy.
Ooh. Well. Take a look. Usually a very good bunker player playing against the wind there. It's the kind of shot you'd really like to have, as Roger pointed out. Just caught it heavy. And there you go. Do that. It's not going to go as far. That be his open hopes for 95. Got one now he's got to make.
For his wife Shannon with their 2 sons. Father's Day. Will it be one to remember for the Pavin family?
Those little kids just don't know what their daddy might just have done, but mother knows.
Mother knows best.
Well, pretty safe to say that Norman has to make this putt to keep hopes alive.
That is for sure.
This one downhill, going to move a little bit to his right, probably a couple of balls off the hole left.
Pavin's lead is 2. Bogey at 17 for Norman. Norman, who lost so many majors, such unlikely fashion. Larry Mize at the Masters, Tway at the PGA Championship, Gomez at Bay Hill, David Frost at New Orleans, sinking shots from off the green on the final hole, and was hoping he might pay back here at Shinnecock Hills. But unless he's got an eagle in him on 18, his hopes are for second place, and that doesn't satisfy him a bit.
Well, the face sort of says it all. He's not given up yet, though.
Good par there by Lehman. Just a 3 over. Going to finish good shape this week. Of course, the golf course, nobody under par this year. Nobody going to be under par. So the only man with a chance, Norman, going to AT&T, would have to do what Colin Montgomery did earlier. Make it 2 at the last.
Tough night, and you pulled out. It's okay.
Hey, buddy. Come here. Oh, you're so big.
Okay. I watched you the whole way down. All right. Austin won.
saw.
18.
Yeah.
Okay, you get down. Go get your car.
Up there? I'm going to get your wife on this camera.
It's okay. You don't need to.
All right.
I'm all ready.
Good job, Dad.
That was a good round. I don't care what happened. It was a good round. Good turn.
To the 18th tee.
Yards of the toughest yardage you'll ever see under open pressure. Tom Lehman has fought a good fight, given it the best he could. Just maybe wasn't meant to be this time.
Hard you got to come out of there with that.
Shot, Tom. Come on, this way.
Good shot there.
Good drive.
Tied for third with Phil Mickelson at 3 under. And now Greg Norman, 2 back of Corey Pavin. And you talked about it, all the shots have maybe been made against him. It is not totally out of the question, even though it's huge odds that he could knock it up there and pull out a second shot. And you can bet he's going to be trying. Wants to put it right at the right side of the clubhouse, ride that wind a little bit. It's coming across.
Good looking drive right up the left side of the fairway, John.
Drive, Greg.
Great drive, Greg.
So Norman safely in the fairway. Colin Montgomery eagled from there earlier today. On Father's Day, Corey Pavin and his 9-year-old son, Ryan. He's with us. Back at beautiful Shinnecock Hills Golf Club on Long Island. And Corey Pavin with that incredible 4-wood is sitting within, well, we have to wait for Norman's approach here, but what a shot.
Yeah, that was a shot I hit on Friday, the same shot, and I just aimed at the right edge of the green and just tried to hit a straight one and let the wind bring it and brought it right to the hole.
That shot really was just tracking right at the hole until it broke right, and That had to be like the shot of your life right there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that was probably the most pressure I've ever felt on the golf course, and I just tried to gather myself out there and just make a good swing and keep working on my routine, the things that I've been doing before.
Well, let's check out Greg Norman and his one last hope. Tom Lehman is away. Roger?
This is 6 iron from 189 yards. John just put it at the center of the green, let the wind carry it left. Certainly had a wonderful Open Championship, hadn't he?
Another good try. Gave it a good shot at the Masters. Now they Open.
Lehman currently tied for third with Phil Mickelson.
Drawing back at the flag. What a dandy. Beautiful shot.
Come back. Greg Norman would have to knock in this shot to tie Corey Pavin. We've seen only one such instance in this championship, and that was today. Colin Montgomery did just that. And while Corey Pavin watches on our monitors through the window, Greg Norman.
What's he got, Roger?
He's left himself 182 yards to the flag, Johnny.
Take your time and get it started on your line.
He's going with a 7 iron. Really very similar to the shot he hit here yesterday afternoon. Tried to send it out to the right, ride the wind. You can see from Lehman's ball just how firm this surface is.
I know how you feel, Corey. I was waiting for John Schley to chip behind the 18th green.
Yeah, this is quite a lot of tension here watching this for me.
How's it look, Roger?
No, the wind's taking it left, going at the left side of the green, missing the green left, I believe.
Corey Pavin, U.S. Open champion.
Thanks.
Does that sound good?
Oh, that sounds so awesome. I can't even tell you how good that sounds to me. I've waited a long time for this.
Championship trophy, and all of those folks that ask you over and over again, or you're reminded constantly the greatest player not to have won a major,
Yeah.
that's all gone.
Thank God. I was tired of hearing those questions, and
oh, man.
It kind of wears on you. But you just have to realize, you know, that I was trying my hardest, trying to do the best I could, and I had faith that it would happen, and finally it has. I'm very, very pleased.
When you saw Shinnecock Hills for the first time, did you say this is my kind of course?
Well, I liked it a lot when we got here on Monday, and it was raining, and it kept raining and raining. I was getting more and more frustrated, and I was glad it stopped raining and the course firmed up, because that's why I like to see it out there.
Corey, when you made birdie at 9, as we watch Greg Norman, a salute to Norman, who again made the fight, but fell short. The significance of this championship, Corey Pavin, you played an incredible golf course, and you were best, and you beat men like Norman, who wanted it just as desperately as you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I wanted it more desperately. He's had his share of a couple, and Greg played great, and he played courageously, and I could see on the last hole he was just thinking about making that shot. That's all that was going through his head. You know, he played fantastic, and everybody else did too, and I just feel very fortunate to come ahead, and have won a U.S. Open. It sounds great to hear that.
Yes, indeed. You didn't make the cut in '86, but here you are with your birdie at 9. And at this point, I made the comment, Ray Floyd was in a similar position 9 years ago and came from behind and rallied to win.
Yeah, that putt on 9 was hard, and then 12 here, I just wanted to hit a really good solid putt. And I just couldn't hit a purer putt than I did right there. I hit a poor putt on 11 before that and made that one. And 15, almost the same putt, just broke a little right to left uphill and just put it right in the middle. That felt great, that putt right there.
And here's the shot that will be played for the rest of your life.
Yeah, this is just a forward. I just hit it to the right there and just tried to hit a low draw. And it just came off perfectly. I actually ran up to see where that one was going. I was very anxious to see that one. I thought it was going to go in right here. I was watching it from the fairway and it broke off to the right.
Only you could say it was just a forward.
Now Greg Norman's third shot. And Norman will have some work to do to save his par and hold second place. Now, again, that 4-wood.
I think we're going to watch my running ability here. I just took off running after this one because I wanted to see it.
You knew the minute you hit it, it was right where you wanted it?
Yeah, I knew when I hit it, it could get pretty close. And I certainly wanted to see it. That's a happy man right there. I was pretty pleased with that one.
You look like part of that UCLA celebration at the National Basketball Championship.
Yeah, UCLA has 2 national champions this year, I guess.
Indeed. Well, you're on your way to a championship presentation. Congratulations from all of us.
Thank you very much, Dick.
Great stuff.
Thanks, Johnny.
Tom Lehman with a chance for birdie and to move +2 and tie with Norman.
Well, everybody's left that putt to the right all day. Good closing hole though for Tom Lehman.
.74 for Lehman, who started today in a tie with Greg Norman for the lead. And now Norman for par to maintain sole possession of second place.
Roger.
Downhill will move sharply from his left to right. I think the hardest part of this putt is going to be getting his composure, John, don't you?
Yeah, you're interested. One part of you wants to make it, another part of you is far away.
Final round score for Greg Norman, who finishes second. Lehman third for this U.S. Open Championship. Corey Pavin the winner.
Good call. You were unbelievable. Good call. Good playing. That's awesome.
Lee Jansen, champion.
Good call there on a little playoff hole last week. I don't know why. It just happens that way the past few years. Hopefully I'll be near the lead next year. No, you're not.
Yeah, they're sharing the fact that both men came into the Open off very fine performances the week before. Pavin finished second last week at the Kemper. Jansen the year before.
Well, if you did a voting on Tura, the 2 toughest guys down the stretch with the lead, you just saw both of them talking with each other.
Greg Norman go in and had his card and sign it.
Thanks, Tony.
And Corey Pavin will have the trophy presentation and our thoughts on this 95th U.S. Open Championship. Corey Pavin, has his first major title. A brilliant 68 today.